It was nearly midnight in the sleek, silent lobby of the $3 billion Nexus Tech Tower. While most of the city's ambitious employees had long gone home, polished black marble floors still sparkled with an almost supernatural sheen. But this was not because of the latest, state-of-the-art AI cleaning bots. It was because of a man named Kenji Sato, the night janitor. Kenji moved like a shadow through the silent halls, a ghost in a machine of progress. But tonight, he would see something he was never meant to see. He would speak words he was never meant to speak. A single quiet conversation in a forgotten language would change everything. What secret was the powerful CEO hiding, and how could a simple janitor hold the only key? Stay with us for an incredible story of two lonely souls finding a connection in the most unexpected of ways. Kenji wasn't just mopping floors. He was listening. He was observing. He was carrying the quiet, unspoken burdens of a world that never even knew he was there. To most, he was a name on a schedule, a fleeting face behind a faded gray uniform. A part of the building's automated, after-hours functions. What people didn't know, what they could never have possibly imagined, was that Kenji had once taught linguistics at a prestigious university back in Kyoto. That was another life. A life before he became a widower. A life before he had moved halfway across the world to give his young daughter Hannah a better future. Now, he cleaned the silent, empty offices of this glass tower while she slept soundly at home. Her small, warm hand always clutching a corner of his shirt when he kissed her goodnight, a silent, powerful promise to always come back to her. That night, the main elevator doors opened, and out stepped a woman that no one in the building, not even the highest-level executives, saw much. CEO Evelyn Reed. The rumors that swirled around her in the company's break rooms were the stuff of corporate legend. They said she rarely spoke. They said she had ruthlessly and single-handedly taken over the company after her father's sudden tragic death a year ago. And they said that she hadn't cracked a single, genuine smile since. Her high heels clicked a sharp, lonely rhythm against the marble floor. Her expression was a perfect, unreadable mask. Her tablet was held in one hand, but her eyes were distant, unfocused. She was clearly lost in a thought, a memory, and she seemed for a moment almost off balance. Kenji, a man who had spent a lifetime observing the subtle, unspoken language of human beings, noticed it all. He noticed not just her posture, but the almost imperceptible tremor in her fingers as she swiped at the screen of her tablet. He noticed the way her breath hitched, just for a single painful second, when she saw that the vast, empty lobby was completely deserted, except of course for him. She paused near the massive glass entrance, gazing out at the rainy, glittering city below, and in that moment Kenji hesitated. His training, his experience, his very job told him to stay quiet, to remain a shadow. But his heart, the heart of a father, of a former teacher, a man who understood grief all too well, told him something else. He took a slow, quiet breath, and then respectfully he spoke. A silence that was no longer awkward, but charged with a new, powerful, and very electric energy stretched between them. It was the moment just before a long overdue storm finally breaks. Then Evelyn let out a sound. It was a laugh, but it was small and tired and broken. The kind of sound that sounds like it hasn't been used in a decade. Kenji placed his mop and bucket carefully, and with a quiet, almost reverent dignity, to the side. He bowed his head, a small, traditional, deeply respectful gesture. Evelyn blinked, and just like that, the hard, impenetrable, very lonely armor of the powerful CEO, the armor she had worn every single day for the past year, finally, and completely cracked. Not visibly, not in a loud, dramatic shattering, but enough for her own voice, when she spoke, to change. Another long, profound silence stretched between them. Then she added, almost to herself, her gaze drifting out to the endless, glittering, and very lonely city. Everyone in this building, They follow my orders. They anticipate my needs. They fear my disapproval, but not one of them, she finished. Her voice now full of a pain so deep it was almost a physical thing. Not one of them has ever bothered to simply ask if I am all right. Kenji didn't move closer. He just stood there, a steady, kind, and profoundly human presence. A quiet, unassuming anchor in the storm of her long-suppressed grief. She didn't talk much at first, only enough to mention her father's sudden, shocking death a year ago. The immense, crushing pressure of taking over his vast global empire. The profound and very isolating silence of a corporate world that simply did not have the time or the patience for a new CEO's grief. Kenji just listened. He never judged. He never interrupted. Simply, listened. When she finally stood up to leave, her own composure, the mask of the powerful CEO, slowly and almost reluctantly slipping back into place, she turned back to him and Evelyn for the very first time, smiled. It was a faint, almost imperceptible smile, but it was real, and it reached her eyes. Kenji hesitated. "But, ma'am," he began, the janitorial staff. "We are not usually ... double quotes then, without another word." She turned and walked away. But not before giving him a short, perfect, and very traditional Japanese bow. A bow of a deep and very real respect by. The next morning, word and a new, very hopeful kind of rumor had already begun to spread across the entire building. The silent, icy CEO had spoken. In Japanese, the quiet, unassuming night janitor. No one knew what had been said. But something profound and something very real had clearly changed. She smiled more. She took meetings with junior staff she had never bothered to notice before. She asked people how they were doing, and she actually waited to hear their answers. And Kenji just kept mopping. He kept cleaning. He kept smiling. But now, every so often, a passing executive, one of the powerful men who had never even seen him before, would nod in his direction. Not out of a sense of a new corporate obligation, but out of a new and very real respect. A few nights later, a young, nervous intern approached Kenji as he was packing up his cleaning supplies. "Mr. Sato?" the intern asked. "What? What did you say to the CEO that night?" Kenji looked at the young man, his own eyes kind, wise, and full of a deep, quiet understanding. "Sometimes," he replied, "the most powerful thing you can say to another human being is just to ask if they are okay." In the language, he finished, a small, knowing smile on his face, that their own heart remembers.